All right, so we are doing equations and inequalities first. We're going to start with equations. And yeah, I'm a Sox fan, so I like making fun of Cubs fans. Just deal with it. Let's start with this type of problem. A total of 18 people attended a field trip to Shedd Aquarium for a tour. Tour group consists of 6 people. Write an equation that would correctly describe how many tour groups to organize. So all you have to do is write an equation. Okay, we've got 18 people, so if you're good at pictures, draw them all. Okay, groups of 6. So that's 1, 2, 3 tour groups. Okay, how can we write that as an equation though? Well, we've got 18 people. We need to divide them into a certain number of groups. It's going to come up with 6 in a group. Okay, so that's one way you can write it up, which, you do 18 divided by g equals 6. So that's all they're doing is asking you to write an equation for that. So real simple, pretty straightforward. Total number of people divided by the number of groups. How many people should be in the groups? All right. This one, we've got a total of 162 people. Okay, attending a field trip to the Board of Trade. Tour group consists of 9 people. We want an equation that will describe how many tour groups to organize. We've got 162 total people divided by the number of groups. That's what we're trying to figure out, which will give us 9 in a group. Okay, so all you have to do, again, 162 over g equals 9. That's it. So it's just total number of people, or, so put people over g for groups equals number in a group. Okay, so that's kind of the formula you're going to be working with here. We'll move on to something a little bit different now. So if after driving 3.5 hours at a constant speed, you have traveled 180 miles, what was your average speed over that distance? So for this one, we're going to do 3.5 hours x equals 180. So to find, because it's basically we're saying 3.5 hours times whatever average speed is going to give us 180 miles. So all you have to do is divide both sides by 3.5. So 180 divided by 3.5, which will give you 51.42 miles. Or if you just want to make it nice and easy, do total distance and divide that by time. Total time, to be exact. Okay, that'll give you average speed. So I would write this down right here because that's a good formula. All you have to do is put total distance divided by total time. I'm going to present it a different way here. So like this one, a little small. But it says if after driving 20 hours at a constant speed, you have traveled 1,200 miles, what was your average speed? Again, you could do 20x equals 1,200. And then you end up dividing both sides by 20 anyway. So this is kind of like what my original, or what my formula on the other page looked like. Total distance divided by total time. And in this case, that's going to give you your average speed. All right, so which would be 60 miles an hour. Pretty easy. All right, let's move on to inequalities now. So, Russian nesting dolls, those are the dolls that, like, when you open up the big ones, there's a little one inside, and you keep opening up until you get to the smallest one inside. So they kind of, like, have, like, this weird shape to it. A little face here. You open it up, there's one inside. That kind of thing. Anyway, you get the idea. I don't need to, that's not important there. A craft person designs Russian nesting dolls so that each doll fits inside the next larger doll. In a set of dolls, the smallest doll is 1 inch tall. Okay, that's important to know. Suppose each doll is twice as tall as the previous doll. Write an inequality to represent when the doll height will be more than 6 times the height. All right, so I've underlined the important things here. 1 inch tall, twice as tall, 6 times. Okay, this is an exponential relationship. Keep that in mind. All right, so this twice, however many times bigger that doll is, that's what's going to be your base. Okay, your power or your exponent is always going to be y. And then that's always needs to be greater than 6 times the height of the smallest dowel. Well, we know the smallest dowel is 1 inch. So 1 times 6 is 6. So your final answer should look like that. So it's just a matter of knowing where to put things. Like twice goes there, 6 times goes there. This looks like a football play. See if you can do this next one on your own. Okay, smallest dowel is 1 inch. Each dowel is 3 times as tall. And when will the dowel height be more than 4 times? So take those 3 bits of information. This is, as long as this is 1, this is really, really easy. That 3 times should go there. Okay? That 4 times is 4 times 1 inch. So what follows is 4 times 1. So if it, let's say the smallest dowel was 2 inches, this would be 4 times 2, which in that case would equal 8. We're making it easy on you, though, just saying 4 times 1. So your final answer, 3 to the y, is greater than 4. All right, final type of problem. So a total of 20 people attend a field trip to Ben & Jerry's factory for a tour. A maximum of 7 people are allowed at one time in a tour group. So using that capacity, what's the minimum number of groups that can be formed? All right, so 7 doesn't go into 20 evenly. So we have one group of 7, another group of 7, and then a group of 6. So we would need 1, 2, 3 groups. Okay, but how can we use an equation, for groups where we're not going to draw all the pictures? Well, we take the total number of people, okay, divided by G. So like before, total people divided by number of groups. Okay, and that has to be less than or equal to the 7 people that are allowed in the group. So this is always going to be true. It's always going to be less than or equal because we can't go over 7 people per group. So this is the number of people in a group allowed. Number of people allowed in a group. And then you just go ahead and solve. So we're going to multiply both sides by G to get rid of it. You get 20 is less than or equal to 7G. Divide both sides by 7. You're going to come up with a fraction, which is 2.86. But we can't have 2.86 groups. So since if we round down, we would have people left out. In this case, we're always going to round up. Okay, I'm going to underline that. For these types of problems, round up. Can't stress it enough. All right, now it looks like it says gowned up. Anyway, you get it. So we say G is greater than or equal to 2.86, but since we can't have fractions, we're going to say 3 groups. Okay, we need 3 groups. That's your answer right here. Try this one on your own. I really do want you to pause it here. Try and do it on your own. So a total number of 79 people attend a field trip to the Hershey's chocolate factory. You're only allowed 9 people in a tour group at a time. So using this, what's the minimum number of tour groups that can be formed? And you can't just answer the question. You have to show your work before you get any ideas to get full credit for this. So go ahead, pause it here. And hopefully you did it and you're coming back. So 79 over G is less than or equal to 9. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to multiply G by both sides, which is going to get rid of the G on the bottom here. And then you're going to divide both sides by 9, which is going to give you a fraction of 8.78. Well, G has to be greater than or equal to 8.78. But we can't have, again, we can't have a fraction or decimal, so we need to do what? We need to round up. All right, so since we can't have 8.78, we need 9 groups. All right, so a lot of information in this video, 4 separate types of problems. Make sure you have examples of at least one of each. I'd prefer that you had both, but I need you to have at least all of the 4 different examples in this video. And only one more after this, and then we are done for the year. So you guys have a good one.